Picture this. You're flipping through a nature magazine and suddenly you stop dead in your tracks. There's a photo of what looks like a massive, half-eaten fish just floating at the ocean's surface. Your brain can't process what you're seeing. Is it a chunk of debris? A mutilated shark? Some kind of bizarre sea pancake? You're not alone in this confusion. Even marine biologists have watched people stare at these creatures in complete bewilderment, with some folks convinced they're looking at a giant sea turtle or a floating wheel. But what you're actually witnessing is one of the ocean's most ridiculous success stories, a fish so absurd that it seems to break every rule of evolution. This floating head with fins is the ocean sunfish, and everything about it screams evolutionary mistake. It looks like someone took a regular fish, chopped off the back half, and said good luck surviving. Its mouth hangs permanently open, seemingly shocked by its own existence. It flops around at the surface like it's given up on life itself. Yet somehow, this bizarre creature has become the heaviest bony fish on the planet, weighing as much as a small car and reaching sizes that would make a great white shark jealous. But here's the kicker. Every single thing that makes this fish look like nature's biggest failure is actually the secret to its incredible success. The sunfish belongs to the Mollidae family. And if you think regular fish anatomy is weird, wait until you see what evolution did here. This creature is missing half the body parts you'd expect to find on a fish. No pelvic fins, no proper tail. No proper tail. Its spine just stops abruptly like someone hit the delete button. Instead of ribs, it has this lumpy, rounded section called a clavus where its back end should be. The whole thing looks like a fish head that got separated from its body and decided to keep swimming anyway. Most fish have these crucial axial muscles running down their length, the powerhouse that flexes the body side to side for that classic fish swimming motion. The sunfish said, nah, we don't need those, and just got rid of them entirely. So how does a fish with no proper tail and no body flexing muscles actually move through water? This is where things get absolutely wild. Instead of the traditional fish wiggle, the sunfish evolved something completely different. It turned its remaining fins into vertical wings. Those massive dorsal and anal fins aren't just for show. They flap up and down simultaneously like a bird's wings, but turn 90 degrees. The sunfish is literally flying through water, and it's the only aquatic vertebrate on the planet that does this with vertical wings. This isn't just unusual, it's revolutionary. The creature independently evolved the same underwater flight technique as manta rays and penguins, despite being completely unrelated to them. Nature basically said, if it works for birds in the air, let's try it underwater. But here's where things get really interesting. These vertical wings work incredibly efficiently, allowing the sunfish to cruise at about 3 kilometers per hour without breaking a sweat. Their skin isn't like normal fish skin either. It's this thick, rubbery, grease-covered armor called a hypodermis that's so rigid it actually counts as an exoskeleton. This inflexible coating reduces drag and helps protect them from predators. Everything about their design should make them fast, efficient swimmers like tuna. So why are they so slow? The answer lies in one crucial difference: temperature. Tuna can heat their bodies to 35 degrees Celsius even in freezing water, giving them the energy to zip around like underwater rockets. But sunfish are completely cold-blooded, which means they're stuck with whatever temperature the water gives them. In warm surface waters, they're comfortable. But when the water drops to 12 degrees Celsius or below, they start getting disoriented and can actually perish from the cold. You'd think this would keep them safely in warm, shallow waters, right? Wrong? These seemingly slow, vulnerable fish regularly dive into some of the most hostile environments on Earth. Scientists strapped cameras to sunfish and discovered something absolutely mind-blowing. These creatures routinely plunge over 1,000 meters down into the midnight zone, where the water temperature drops to just 4 degrees Celsius. That's cold enough to shut down their nervous systems, yet they do it multiple times every single day. Their body temperature plummets from 20 degrees to 12 degrees during these dives, a drop that would incapacitate most creatures. So what could possibly be worth risking their lives for in these frozen depths? The answer lies in one of nature's most spectacular daily events. Every single day, billions of tiny creatures participate in the greatest migration on Earth, the Deal vertical migration. As the sun sets, massive swarms of jellyfish, siphonophores, and other gelatinous prey rise from the deep ocean toward the surface to feed under cover of darkness. At dawn, they sink back down to avoid predators. Most fish try to catch these creatures during their brief surface visits, but the sunfish had a different idea. Instead of waiting for the food to come up, they decided to follow it down. These deep dives aren't random wandering, they're precision hunting missions. The sunfish times its descents perfectly to intercept the rising prey, using whatever sunlight penetrates the depths to spot their target. When they dive so deep that sunlight disappears completely, they hunt by the eerie glow of bioluminescent creatures. It's like following a living constellation through the abyss. This strategy is absolutely genius because it gives them access to food sources that most other predators can't reach. While other fish are competing for scraps at the surface, sunfish have an entire underwater buffet all to themselves. Most fish could never survive this kind of extreme vertical migration because of their swim bladders. These internal balloons help fish stay neutrally buoyant, but they only work within a narrow depth range. Dive too deep and you'll sink like a stone. Rise too fast and you might shoot to the surface uncontrollably. Or worse, your swim bladder could burst from rapid decompression. It's like trying to scuba dive with faulty equipment, potentially fatal. But once again, the sunfish found the perfect solution by being weird. They don't have swim bladders at all. Instead, their bizarre body composition acts as a natural buoyancy system. Their skeleton and muscles are negatively buoyant, while that thick, gelatinous hypodermis layer is positively buoyant and won't compress under pressure. These opposing forces balance out perfectly, keeping them neutrally buoyant at any depth. It's like having a built-in dive computer that automatically adjusts for pressure changes. This allows them to yo-yo up and down the water column all day long, making multiple deep-sea hunting trips that would be impossible for almost any other fish. After each bone-chilling dive into the abyss, sunfish face a life-threatening problem. They're basically frozen solid. Their body temperature has dropped to dangerous levels, and they need to warm up fast or risk serious consequences. This is where that famous lazy surface behavior comes in. When people see sunfish floating sideways at the surface, they assume the fish are sick, stuck, or just gave up on life. In reality, this is one of the most sophisticated behavioral adaptations in the ocean. The sunfish is essentially turning itself into a living solar panel. By positioning its massive, flattened body parallel to the surface, it maximizes the amount of sunlight hitting its skin. That large surface area isn't an accident. It's a heating system designed by millions of years of evolution. The bigger the sunfish, the more heat it can absorb and retain, which allows the largest individuals to dive deeper and stay down longer than smaller ones. They're not being lazy, they're recharging for their next extreme deep-sea mission. This basking behavior is so crucial that it literally gave them their name, sunfish. But the sunfish's weirdness reaches its absolute peak when it comes to reproduction. In the open ocean, laying eggs is basically like throwing food into a blender full of hungry fish. Most of your offspring will be devoured within minutes. The typical fish response to this problem is to find hidden nursery areas or provide parental care. The sunfish looked at this challenge and said, "Hold my kelp," before unleashing the most extreme reproductive strategy in the vertebrate world. A single female sunfish can carry up to 1 billion eggs. That's not a typo. 1 billion eggs inside a single fish. To put this in perspective, the massive beluga sturgeon lays about 7 million eggs per year, which already sounds like overkill. Bluefin tuna, another ocean giant, manages around 30 million eggs. But the sunfish absolutely demolishes these numbers by releasing more eggs than any other vertebrate on Earth. They just float around in the open ocean and release this astronomical cloud of eggs into the current. betting that sheer numbers will overwhelm even the hungriest predators. The growth that follows is equally mind-blowing. Sunfish start as larvae smaller than a pinhead and somehow transform into creatures weighing over 2,000 kilograms. That means they increase their mass by roughly 60 million times during their lifetime. One sunfish at the Monterey Bay Aquarium gained nearly a kilogram every single day for 15 months straight. Imagine growing so fast that you gain the weight of a small dog every 24 hours. The baby sunfish look nothing like adults either. They're tiny, spiky little things that look more like sea urchins than fish, probably to deter predators from eating them. The more you dig into sunfish biology, the more you realize that everything about them that seems stupid or broken is actually a masterpiece of evolutionary engineering. That goofy, permanently surprised expression, it's perfectly designed for their filter-feeding lifestyle. Those ridiculous proportions, they create the ideal body plan for vertical wing swimming and solar heating. That seemingly clumsy surface behavior, it's a precisely calibrated thermoregulation system that allows them to exploit an ecological niche no other fish can access. Being weird isn't just working for the sunfish. It's made them one of the most successful fish in the ocean. They've found a way to thrive in environments that would eliminate most other species. While other fish are fighting over the same resources in shallow water, sunfish have claimed exclusive hunting rights to the deep ocean's vast jellyfish populations. They've turned their apparent weaknesses into incredible strengths, proving that sometimes the best survival strategy is to be so bizarre that you create your own category. The sunfish reminds us that evolution doesn't always follow the rules we think it should. Sometimes the most successful approach is to throw out the playbook entirely and try something completely different. In a world where everyone's trying to be faster, stronger, or more aggressive, the sunfish succeeded by being slower, weirder, and more inflexible than anyone thought possible. They've become living proof that there's no single right way to exist in this world. Sometimes the most ridiculous approach turns out to be pure genius. Next time you see a photo of a sunfish floating at the surface with that dopey expression, remember that you're looking at one of evolution's most creative solutions to the challenges of ocean life. That weird, lumpy, seemingly helpless creature has mastered survival techniques that most other fish can't even attempt. The ocean's biggest joke might just be laughing at all of us, having figured out secrets of deep-sea living that we're only beginning to understand. And maybe that's the most beautiful lesson of all. In nature's grand experiment, being different isn't just okay. It's often the key to extraordinary success. That's a wrap on today's wild journey. But here at the Zoo-phoria Show, we're just getting started exploring nature's most incredible stories. Subscribe if you want to keep discovering the shocking, hilarious, and downright unbelievable truths about the animals sharing our planet. Your next favorite animal fact is just one click away.